welcome again to episode 3 of the Legend Podcast. I'm your host, Sarshar Hosseinnia, aka Dave Legend. I'm here with
the legend.
The legend.
Honored to be in your presence.
Well, I'm honored to be in your presence. I'm here with the fastest rising actor in North America today, Austin Trapp. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me. I don't know if I can claim that title just yet, but appreciate it.
Well, you're working hard.
Deserters, the Wehrmacht.
Ooh, 1 liter. Look out. My boy Kyle, just 3 gallons a day. Hi there, sir.
Jesus Christ.
Nice to meet you. Tom Marlin. Just transferred.
But nothing looks better on.
Tell me, in an age of COVID, how the heck are you getting by right now?
Oh, well, it's definitely not easy. As any classic actor, that's up and coming would say, there's a lot of different jobs that a guy needs to have to survive in this day and age right now, especially in an expensive city like Vancouver. Had a couple jobs going on, but a lot of those closed down because of COVID. Luckily, with the acting industry, a lot of stuff has started to open up again, so opportunities are coming along. It's definitely different than before COVID, but it's nice to get some opportunities coming along, and Serb doesn't hurt either.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But growing up, you grew up in Elmira, Ontario. You weren't really a fan of acting. Tell me about your upbringing.
Yeah, definitely was more into the sports. Sports was life. So I started playing hockey when I was 3, and I was convinced I was going to play in the NHL one day. That was the dream. Every Canadian boy's dream, I think, especially if you're from Ontario, where it's very cold in the winters. That's what you aspire for, of course. So I was doing that, but I was always kind of a little bit undersized. So I needed to divert my attention to another sport. So I ended up taking up running, and acting was never on the radar. I took drama for 2 years in high school and had a lot of fun doing it, but mostly just took it because it was a fun class where you got to play games essentially, and not too difficult of a class either. So that was kind of my first introduction to it,
Right.
and then continued along with my sports, and then kind of got into it a little bit older.
So just getting back to your running, you had a cross-country career. You were a member of Canada's only NCAA varsity track and cross-country program at SFU. How far did you get with that, and why was it time to knock that on the head?
Yeah, so basically anything I've ever been into, I pour everything I have into it. And during university, that was definitely the focus. Studies was a secondary thing for me, and running was the primary thing. So I'd get up, train twice a day, naps in between, and give it everything I have. I'd run about 120, which is 120 kilometers a week, which is 80 miles a week or so. So a lot of distance, a lot of time invested in it. And I don't know, I just found I started getting injuries, and I didn't really have any more to go. I got the most I could out of my body, and injuries kept coming along, and finished uni and started traveling, and then it kind of opened my eyes to what else was out there in the world other than running, essentially. Right. Yeah.
So you got your degree in kinesiology.
Mm-hmm.
What were you, before you decided to take that trip to South America, what were you planning on doing with the degree?
Ooh, that's a good question. I definitely knew I needed to do a little bit of finding myself, and that's kind of what traveling did. It's a good question, actually. What did I want to do? I think a couple years in, I was thinking, you know what, I don't know if I can kind of go down this science path, because I knew it would ultimately lead to more education, continual studies, and working in a clinic with, set kind of hours, a 9-to-5 type lifestyle. And quickly, when I got into traveling, I realized that, a routine is really what I didn't like. I wanted something kind of spontaneous and challenging yourself, and allowing you to travel and kind of being your own boss. So I don't know, maybe I was interested in pursuing running a little bit more. I was interested in maybe being a coach, like a varsity coach. I was really intrigued by like the different training programs with running. Also, a small part of me thought maybe I would stick in sciences. You know, if I got rejuvenated after my breaks, maybe something in sports science or sports medicine, being like a athletic trainer for a team as well. So just working in athletics primarily was the focus. And then a small part of me was always intrigued by I'd see these YouTube guys traveling around the world, and I kind of wanted to, give that a go. So I started getting more into like making videos and films while I was traveling, and I guess maybe that would have been one of the dominoes that started the chain reaction that ultimately brought me to where I am now.
Right, and you mentioned you didn't like the routine, the structured lifestyle, and we've talked prior, and you've said that you love the life of an actor. Does that include the struggles as well?
Ooh, I mean, it's really an interesting thing because the highs are so high, but the lows are so low. And especially during COVID, that's kind of tested me in the sense where, I almost am craving that stability now and everything like that. But ultimately, I would still choose what I'm doing now, just because you never know what's around the next corner, right? And I like having these different jobs that I'm doing. It kind of keeps stuff interesting, and I never feel like I'm going to work, which is really cool. It's always like, oh, I'm going to go do this, then I'm going to go do that. So little side jobs, I really enjoy doing those. And then when the auditions come along, of course, those are super exciting. And then nothing beats a day on set as well.
What do your side jobs include?
Yeah, so I was just about to say that. Yeah, this is a good question. I've dabbled in a lot. So the first one I kind of started with while I was doing this thing here in Vancouver was I was working at a sports bar and just getting involved with working with the Canucks, which was a lot of fun, being into hockey. So I'd just kind of be around the sports bar and helping people with their tickets, watching the Canucks, and serving people food and stuff like that. And then I got into tourism. So tourism's a blast. It allows you to kind of go out on an adventure each day. So kind of keeping with that feeling of almost as if I'm traveling myself, but I'm living vicariously through people that are coming to town. So meeting new people, doing activities. Yeah. And then video editing. I really enjoy making videos for people and just always creating and telling stories.
And you've got your own production channel, Trapp Creations.
Yeah, Trapp Creations. So it's I'm still kind of trying to figure out like what I want to do with it right now, but essentially, freelance video editing for people, filming if they need that, and creating content for people is a blast. I'll also walk dogs for people, so it's really a man of random tasks. So it's definitely safe to say no day is the same right now, whether it's in COVID or pre-COVID or post-COVID. It's always different every day, which is a lot of fun.
So essentially, you're away from your structured lifestyle.
There's zero structure. The few things that are regular right now are a dog walk a couple times a week at the same time, and then classes as well for acting.
So where are you taking classes right now?
Right now I'm doing a course. It's improv. It's based out of LA. So the nice thing is in COVID all the classes are on Zoom, so you can take classes anywhere in the world. So Groundlings is a pretty famous improv studio based in LA, and a lot of big actors have come out of there. Will Ferrell is one, and I thought it'd be cool to work improv a little bit more, and work at a very recognized studio.
And how do you go about doing the practical work over Zoom?
Yeah, it's not easy. There's different styles of classes. Like audition style is kind of comparable because you're standing in front of a blue screen, cameras at you, readers there in the room with you, doing the scene back and forth, but you're the only one on camera. Mm-hmm. But over Zoom, it's as if the person's in the room with you, but it's just at the computer screen.
Right.
So I've done some of those and gotten comfortable with that because it's super important. And then also scene study. Scene study is not easy though because it used to be a back and forth scene, but now it's just monologues to each other. But you'll move about the space as if you're on set. You'll block your own scene, so that's a little bit interesting while you're in your apartment, and your roommate might come out of the bathroom at any moment and make a noise, so it can encounter some interesting situations.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of improv. Can you react to whatever's happening around you? And,
maybe your dad just walked in or something. Yeah. Played off as it was meant to happen.
So you're taking acting classes now. When you decided to get into acting, what was the first class you took?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I was actually in Spain at the time, and I was helping teach English a little bit. It was another opportunity to just travel around and just kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And I came across this kind of the showcase for aspiring actors to make it in Hollywood. It was kind of a cheesy thing, but I was like, you know what, like, why not try it out? You know, I kind of like drama.
And this was in Spain.
This was in Spain, and then from there, I decided to take a class in Barcelona. It's the only English-speaking class. It was it's like a Meisner style. So Meisner is one of the styles of coaching where you kind of it's all about your partner. So you do like random exercises, like you'd say something to them that you're seeing, like, oh, you're staring at me, and then they would repeat it back, and you'd go back and forth. So it puts you in the moment. So that was a lot of fun and kind of a nice little, low pressure intro. And then
nice environment to do it in.
Nice environment, yeah. I'd longboard over in the sun, and then do the class, and then longboard home. So it wasn't too bad. And then from there, I got into a full-time studio here in Vancouver. It's called VADA. And from there, I learned more about the film and TV industry here in Vancouver, and then they kind of help you get set up with, an agent and a demo reel and headshots and stuff to, terminology of what you would need to know on set. And then from there, it's just been constant classes, a couple times a week. Had a few coaches I've worked with for a long time that have really changed my life for it. And but I like to switch it up and keep it interesting, because you can't have too much routine.
No,
you don't want that. Yeah,
we try to escape that at all costs.
Always.
But, how long was the course, and why did you decide against the more coveted Vancouver Film School?
As opposed to which one? The one in Spain?
The VADA.
Oh, like how did I choose the one in Vancouver, VADA?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Ultimately, originally being from Ontario, that was on the radar. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm still feeling Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Like, some bitter things from university. I wasn't totally sure if I'd still be here.
Right.
I knew it was a good option, though, because the industry is so good here. The other option being Toronto. So I looked at both schools, some of the big ones in Toronto, some of the big ones in Vancouver. And the Toronto one, I don't know, like, it was just a little bit longer, and I was still not sure about, moving there because I didn't know anybody. Right. Whereas, like, I knew people in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give Vancouver a shot again. And then VADA, it just seems like they had a tighter-knit community, and, they cared about their students, and a lot of their students were working after. So that was a good sign that, they were getting gigs after. Yeah. So that kind of stuck out to me a little bit, yeah.
What was the turning point between a kinesiology degree and your acting career? You mentioned you went away to travel.
Yeah.
What was it that changed you? Where did you go?
Yeah, so I had a backpacking trip planned for South America. Day after I convocated SFU, I knew that I wasn't happy with myself and my life, and I just needed to get out there and experience the world, essentially.
Right.
So, I started a 3.5-month backpacking trip, going all over South America. I think I was in like 9 countries. It finished with the Olympics in Brazil, which was a super cool experience. Changed my life. It made me... I used to be more of a kind of a shy, not so outgoing guy, like still trying to figure out my confidence and stuff. And then that trip kind of pushed me to, develop that side of me a little bit more. So I finished that, and then ultimately moved to Spain to... do a little bit of work teaching English and traveling around. And then that showcase for looking for actors, I didn't really have a lot of work going on at the time when I was in Spain, and I thought I'd give it a go, and it kind of inspired me to start trying acting out and thinking, maybe this is something I could do, because at that point I was like, I cannot imagine opening a textbook or taking another, notes in exam type course. I was just so done with that, and I was looking for some different outlet to challenge myself, and acting just, I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. It sounded crazy, but it just felt right.
What are your short-term objectives versus your long-term goals in acting?
Good question. It's interesting because, like, it's not a typical career where it's like, okay, I'll start working at the bank and I'll work my way up, and then ultimately I'll get that job that will allow me to settle down and all that. There's zero predictability, and it's very volatile. You could get hot and get some stuff, and then you could go ice cold as well. ultimately, yeah, like it's tough to, how do I word it? It's tough to make a goal on something that you don't have any control over.
Right.
All you have control over is like how well you perform, and if you keep training and you keep getting better every day, and that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. But yeah, I mean, if you're like, okay, in a perfect world, what would you do in the next year? I'd probably say, yeah, like get a few more gigs on a few different shows, and a few years down the road, you know, like those gigs just get bigger and bigger to become essentially leads on major shows and feature films, and I'm just kind of at the stage where I'll take whatever I can get right now.
Well, you said you're working on your improv. What other aspects of acting do you feel you need improvement on?
Yeah, I'm feeling, I've done a ton of audition classes, so I'm feeling pretty good about my instincts in auditions.
Mm-hmm.
So just working on the art of it, you know, it's one of those careers where you just, you're gonna have to work on it your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, he still is an acting coach, you know what I mean? It's never something you just be like, okay, I'm good now, you know what I mean? There's always more to work on, so, I mean, I just want to keep working on, improv and in scene study, just like different characters, just being my body. Like I feel like my body is very much part of the instrument, and I think I can continue to work on that, and that'll open up some other stuff in terms of like vulnerability and everything like that. So just more characters, more emotions, and just keep that instrument working, keep it greased up.
That's a fantastic quote. Keep the instrument moving.
Yeah.
I like that. So right now you're in some. You've been in some Bollywood movies. You've done some underwear modeling, a reality TV show as well, and some music videos. You've sort of got the image of the cute boy next door. Is there a time? I mean, in an age of COVID, you must just be appreciative of whatever work you can get. But does there come a time where you say, you know what, I'm done with that aspect of it, and I want to be taken seriously, and maybe some other roles, maybe comedic roles, maybe you know, instead of just the boy next door. I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not that you would ever get sick of that, right? But
No. Those can be fun days on set, you know, and you got the beautiful girl all over you. It's always fun. I feel like I've done a lot of things under the sun in terms of non-union work. So I've done some non-union TV shows, like reality TV, like you said, a couple like docudrama type shows, so like those they're like war type shows, so those are a lot of fun. So I'd like to try and do more stuff like that, but you know, in bigger budget productions. There's a lot of stuff shooting here in Vancouver, so you know, Hallmark movies, CW, try and get some more roles on those types of things. And in terms of characters, I mean, I'm pretty much open to anything. Like, I will get seen for those types of roles, like, you know, the love interest and stuff. But I think I definitely have a lot of range. I want to play more like edgy characters. You know, characters that are dealing with some serious, you know, hurt and stuff that's going on in their lives, and are not afraid to, you know, get violent or take actions, whatever it may be. Just grittier, darker stuff. I'd like to do more of that, but. I'm just chomping at the bit to essentially get bigger budget roles, you know, smaller roles, but then ultimately, you know, lead roles, and just earn an income doing it, you know. So I'm not walking so many dogs.
Although walking dogs does get you girls. Well, it gets the dogs girls anyway.
Right.
Let's talk about the reality TV show. What was it like? I mean, what was the name of it? And what was it like working with the cast? Was it scripted?
Right. Yeah. So it was called The Whole Package, and it was definitely a pretty funny experience. I'd gotten it just out of film school, and it was exciting because it was the first opportunity to be on a set. You know, I got a bunch of days on set, so that was just like making me more comfortable with being behind the camera and working with people, and you know, being on my toes essentially. Yeah. It wasn't scripted, but you know, they would you know, interview you and stuff, and they'd kind of try and steer you towards certain answers and kind of pry stuff out of you. But you know, you would kind of say what you want. They wouldn't force you to say anything or anything like that.
And with you knowing that they were trying to sort of steer you in a certain direction, did you just go with it, or were you trying to sort of fight against it? Or you know what?
If I like thought it was true and I agreed with it, yeah, I would go with it, and if not, then I would kind of downplay it.
Yeah.
It was a underwear modeling competition,
Yeah.
and it was kind of funny because it was primarily on a out TV, so I don't know properly how to word it. Like it was more towards like a gay audience. A lot of my castmates were gay,
Right.
And I was one of the few straight ones, so that was definitely like pushed me to be outside my comfort zone in terms of some of the challenges that we had to do on the show were definitely outside my comfort zone, and I think I'm quoted saying out of my comfort zone a number of times on the show, but it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate the experience, and just working on modeling and working the camera, and I made some friendships and connections from it, so I can't complain too much.
How far out of your comfort zone would you go?
I mean, that was definitely borderline. Some of the challenges we had to do on it, those
Are you
were
allowed
out there.
to talk about any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I had to do one episode where we had to do like drag makeup for ourselves, which was so far outside my comfort zone. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I was committed at the point. I had to do it. So that was up there.
Because you came from that sort of jock background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But in terms of roles, like I'm pretty comfortable playing most stuff. I mean, if I was told I had to do like a gay sex scene or something, I'd have to give it a think of am I comfortable with it? Is this telling a good story? Am I is it like something I'm comfortable with physically? I'm open to it, but it just depends on the project. But that would push me, I think, just because it'd be something new, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Bollywood movies.
So I did a few things, like when I first got out of film school, just kind of gung-ho, trying to get gigs and everything like that. I definitely wouldn't say I would do them at all now. I did a few music videos and a Bollywood movie. I just really didn't like how kind of their sets were run. It just didn't seem very organized, or they would tell us like what we were doing or who we were, or when we were going to be there. They wouldn't really communicate with us. And there was one instance where I was supposed to get paid, and they kept like not paying me. I'd talk to one person, they'd say, oh, talk to this person, oh, talk to this person. I'm like, this is so unprofessional. Like, I need to get paid for the work I did.
Of course.
So that would be an example of
Is that
it's kind of a lesson
the
learned.
industry or the culture?
I mean, other stuff I never had that issue. It was just in that. So I don't know why, but I definitely avoid that type of gigs now, just based off of not getting paid for one of the stuff. It was kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about taking improv classes. Now there are certain nightclubs here that do improv nights and comedy nights.
Oh.
Have you ever thought about maybe doing a stand-up comedy or an improv set down at a local club, or are you sort of just trying to find your feet with the classes first?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done like a ton of improv training. It was kind of just more like a fun, different way of like exploring creativity in my instrument. And it's definitely important, for auditions or when you're on set. In terms of the improv nights, it's more like there's like difference between like a professional actor and professional improver for sure. Like an improver, like they eat and sleep improv. Like they do it all the time, and they're the shows are catered towards their skill sets. So I never thought I'd kind of be at that point right now, just because of all the training and experiences they've had. I've gone to see some shows though. They're very cool. It's very impressive the stuff they can come up with on their feet. It's incredible and really entertaining. In terms of the live comedy stuff, I've been meaning to go see some shows here in Vancouver, but I just haven't. And then kind of COVID came, and that's kind of put a wrench in it. I've known some people that have tried it, maybe at some point, but I don't know. Like I feel like I've never really seen myself as like a big comedian.
Although there was that that role you played, I really enjoyed when you were the sort of the bumbling cop, where it had elements of humor to it. I for one enjoyed that.
Oh, thanks.
So
Yeah,
I think you did a fantastic job in that role.
Yeah, I think I really get immersed by like my character work and just like really being in the mindset of the character. And I think when I do that, because I really sink myself into it, and I really feel the stakes for the character, and it can get dramatic. Depending on the character, that can be comedic, but just in terms of like a, cracking jokes kind of thing, I haven't seen myself in that kind of discipline yet, but I'm always open, so you never know.
What would be your ideal role? I mean, you mentioned earlier sort of the serial killer or whatever, but if you had to pick one role that would sort of shoot you to superstardom,
right?
What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome to get a lead role on like a big show. It's one gig you book, and you're constantly working for a long time, and if it's a popular show, you just take off, right? And then other opportunities come. The dangers with that, though, is if you get that role, maybe it goes for 10 seasons, you're playing the same character for 10, 11 years. So I guess I would say maybe a interesting character on a hit show that gets in for a few episodes, gets to make some hot choices, have some fun with it, get some popularity from it, and then essentially get to regularly work on different projects, different movies and stuff, because it's fun just working on different projects. So I think that would be the perfect path if it was something like that, or just a popular movie that brings you into other stuff as well. I like in terms of characters, something that might be a little. I really like the show Animal Kingdom, so kind of something that has like some edge to it, some sports, some crime, some drugs, some sex, like stuff like that. I think would be a lot of fun.
It's funny, just on that subject, I actually really enjoy cameos. So there's a very good character actor, Luis Guzman. I'm sure you've heard of him.
No, actually. I mean, maybe I recognize the face. I'm terrible when it comes to names and stuff.
Boogie Nights.
Oh, Boogie Nights. Yeah, I've seen that. That's really funny.
I think he was in Traffic as well.
Yeah.
And he's in a few others, but he's always playing the kind of sleazy nightclub owner. And
okay.
I love it how he just pops up out of nowhere, and you're like, that's your role.
Yeah.
And
it's a specialty.
Yeah. and I mean, now he's on a lot of international. He's on a lot of Netflix shows, so he sort of branched out from that.
Okay.
But at the beginning, you could define him as that.
He's that guy. And a lot of people will do that too. They'll kind of get like a role that they're like seen as.
Yeah.
And like the great thing is if you're great at that, you'll get more roles like that. But then the bad thing is you're only seen as that. Like think of the guy that plays like Stifler in American Pie. Like how many roles of the same character has he done, right?
Yeah. Even in Goon, he was sort of
exactly
the hardened jock,
and he's great at it, of course. But that's the danger of it. You got to be able to transform yourself and almost be unrecognizable in each thing, which is tough. So that type of thing takes a lifetime to perfect, of course. I'm sure.
Perfect. Do you mind playing a quick fire 60-second round?
Yep.
Of questions where you
cool.
Answering
first thing that comes to your mind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not. Let's start the clock here. Maybe like 3 words or 1 sentence or something.
Okay. Cool.
And if you're not comfortable, just say not comfortable.
Just say next or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We'll start
Fun.
the clock. Ready? And favorite actor.
Ooh, I got a few. Ryan Gosling, the Franco brothers, Leo, and Brad Pitt.
Okay, favorite actress.
I'm totally in love with Margot Robbie right now.
Yeah.
I loved her in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
Yeah, she's powerful and absolutely gorgeous.
I'll have to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Amazing. Favorite movie?
Ooh, I'm always bad with that, but I saw one recently. I See You is really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed those types of dark thrillers. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, 20 seconds left. Worst movie?
I can't think of one.
Okay. Best production you've been a part of?
Man on the High Castle was awesome.
Worst production you've been part of?
One of the Bollywood ones.